Ranking Member Camp, other committee members, on behalf of Sonoma County, it is a pleasure to be before you. We're really honored for this opportunity. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm trying to see how I can bring my PowerPoint up. Antoine, can we? Okay. What I'm going to do, I'd like to tell you a little story first, a little background. In 2008, California passed Assembly Bill 811. It was authored by Assemblymember Levin in California. Thought you'd enjoy that. And basically what it did, it took a 100-year system, a 100-year process that exists in California and across this nation, and it said for property assessments where normally we would fund streets, highways, curbs, etc., we will expand that ability to energy efficiency, renewable energy, and water conservation. Now that's called PACE, Property Assessment Clean Energy. It was mentioned by Vice President Joe Biden in one of his recent speeches. It is, again, a 100-year process that was authorized to include these other abilities, and Sonoma County took that bill and implemented it. And what I'm going to show you is a simple process and I'm going to show you the results of that process. Basically, on the ground, proof that what we've been talking about works. Our program basically is authorized for $100 million. We have financed that ourselves. We're looking to long-term finance this program at low interest rates, and we'll talk about that. In 12 months, we have taken in $41 million in applications. Now, we're a 500,000 population county, and this is a partnership between our cities and the county, 9 cities and the county. We have processed and dispersed into our community over $23 million. So we have paid for $23 million worth of projects, and we have $41 million worth of applications going through our process. We offer this program at 7% fixed interest rate. And the way the program is set up to pay for itself, just like any bank. So we borrow the money at 3%, we lend it to the property owner at 7%, and the 4% spread goes toward the operating costs of this program. That's how we've established this program. We finance water conservation, energy efficiency, and renewable energy. And renewable energy includes solar, wind, geo-exchange. This just shows a map of Sonoma County. Hopefully you've been to the wine country. Mike talks about that proudly, so do I. All 9 of our cities are members of this program. One of the things that we're impressed with is the value that this is adding to the property. The property owners realize that if they volunteer, and this is a volunteer program, they enter into an application process, they agree, if you will, to tax themselves for the next up to 20 years in order to finance these improvements to their properties. What we've shown here is how that's broken down. About over half of the people are electing to do retrofit on their property, and a little less than half are doing solar or renewable energy. To date, we've actually generated 2.9 megawatts of new energy for Sonoma County. Basically, we could power up 800 homes for an entire year with what's been generated over the last 12 months with this program. This is just to give you a sense for the growth. The top line there is our applications on a weekly basis. We have been following this program from the beginning. Our first concern was that no one would come through the door and no one would fill out an application. We did a professional marketing survey, and we found out that over 20% of our property owners would sign up with this program currently. What we really need is 50 to 80% of our property owners, because we know one of the huge carbon emitters is property. The blue line there is our actual disbursements monthly. We make disbursements every month, And as I said, we're over $23 million at this point. We are growing at a rate of about $2.5 to $3 million per month. This is just a breakdown. One of the side benefits to this is retail sales. In order to make improvements on property, you have to buy the materials. So it's improving both goods and services in the area. This slide shows the growth in employment. The blue lines are the applications as they came in on a monthly basis. The red line is the jobs as shown to us by the California Employment Development Department of increase in green building jobs during that same period. The other way that we thought we would predict this is ARA has estimated at the federal level that every $92,000 put into the economy will generate a job. And our program to date should, under that guideline, have generated 252 jobs. Now that's just little Sonoma County. We're looking for a partnership. We need help in basically 3 areas, all of them in funding. We need long-term, low-cost funding. We need what we call warehouse funding. In order to sell bonds, we have to have volume. We have to have 20, 40, $100 million in contracts in place. So what we're doing in Sonoma County is we're financing that until there's enough volume we can sell long-term bonds. And there are investment firms and banks interested in buying those bonds, but there is some interest rate risk there. And then many jurisdictions don't have the startup money for starting this program. It's relatively easy to replicate, but it needs startup money. In the case of Sonoma County, that startup was a line of credit for $1 million. We're probably going to use about half of that. But the long-term funding, one of the Congressman Thompson has been very helpful and very close to our program. He has sponsored H.R. 3525, which would allow tax exemption for these PACE bonds. We're also offering that maybe BABs or PABs maybe expand the definition of capital expenditure to include PACE bonds, might be a better avenue. The Energy Bank is exciting to us because, again, it would provide low-cost financing. The intent here is to pass the low-cost interest rate down to the property owner and make this even a better, more motivated program. With that, I'm open to any questions.